Okay. The next person on this list is called a subdivider and a developer. I want you to add a third word in your book. Add the word builder. These three guys are typically spoken of as a group. Yes, sir? Write it in your book. I'm a big fan of taking notes in your book. That way you always got your book with you. If you lose your notepad, then that's your book. So do whatever you want. Yeah. Subdivider, builder is the next one. Subdivider, developer, but add the word builder. Because these three are unlicensed from a real estate standpoint. All right? There is no development real estate license. Maybe a construction license, maybe whatever, but we're not dealing with that. From a real estate standpoint, all three of these people are unlicensed. Matter of fact, you guys want to be a real estate developer? Here you go. There you are. Just start telling people you're real estate developers now. All right? You guys all know the difference. A subdivider is a guy that goes out and he'll buy 100 acres. He then surveys it and divides it into 100 one-acre lots. He sells that to the developer. The developer goes in and builds the roads and the sewers and the light posts and the infrastructure and creates lots. The developer then sells a lot to a builder. The builder then builds the home and sells to the end user. That's the process. These guys can be one person or different people. Typically, the lower the price point the home is, the more often it's the same person, like Davis Homes, C.P. Morgan, Dura, Arbor. Do what? Drees. All right, they'll go in and they've got internal people that buy the farm, they develop it, they build the homes, then they sell it. The higher the price point goes, the more expensive it becomes, so it tends to be different people. The one Kensington Grove, right across from South, yeah, sure. It's the one down south. Jeez, I just lost my mind. The school corporation, Center Grove, right across from Center Grove High School. Price point of houses, all 750, 800,000 and up. All right, you got 4 or 5 different builders in there. You got Michael Duke and doesn't matter. All those other guys. Because of the price point in the houses are so high, it's hard to afford that kind of money to buy all the land at one time. So you have a different developer than you have builders, okay? But as far as we're concerned, they are not a license required. We don't care. You will deal with them a little bit, okay? Are we good? Who are some of those? Ron Wampler is another builder in there. I really like that housing edition. If you've never been in that housing edition, you guys ought to go. You know, 750 is the little house. Buddy of mine's got his house for sale if anybody's looking to buy a house. It's 13,000 square feet on 8 acres with a barn and a pond. He just recently reduced it from 2.8 down to 2.4 or something like that million. You got that kind of money laying around. It's a nice house. I did the math one day and I figured if you put 10% down and finance the rest, your monthly payment's like $14,800 a month. If you can afford that, there's only one guy I know personally that can afford it, and he's the guy that owns it. So he's not going to buy it. Yeah. Home inspection. Home inspection are the new kids on the block. All right? They weren't licensed. If you had a flashlight in the ladder in the early 2000s, you were a home inspector. January of 2010, they started making it license required activity. All right? We teach this here at Real University. If you know anybody, we teach home inspection. It's a very hard course. It's the one course that actually has hands-on component to it. They got to do a course. They got to go out in the field and do home inspections and pass an exam. All right? You will deal with home inspectors a lot in the interaction, but more so because they're going to look to you for business. All right? Just like mortgage brokers will. You guys will deal with mortgage brokers a lot. They're going to come and go, hey, Miguel, I'm the world's best mortgage broker. When you get your 37 clients this year, bring them to me, and if I get a client, I'll remember you. All right? That happens a lot in this business. Home inspector is one of them that does it. You know, they're going to come to you and go, hey, when you have a purchase and you need a home inspector, give me a call. We're the world's best home inspector. And if I find somebody without a client, I'll pass them your way. Yeah. So the question is, can a real estate broker be a home inspector? Yes, they can. One of my agents is a licensed real estate agent and a licensed home inspector. You can't inspect your own. All right? Can't inspect your own deal. Brent's really good about telling people when he works as their client for in the real estate, because part of your job is to kind of see stuff as you're looking to. He'll specifically tell people, this is not my home inspection advice, because if I do, then we're in a whole nother area. But they can be both licensed. Can you have your mortgage broker's license and your real estate license? Yes, I do. I have a licensed mortgage loan originator as well as a home inspector. And same rule follows. I can't do my client across the both of them. That's actually not true. You can be the mortgage and the real estate agent. There's a term called an arranged business agreement. We're going to talk about it in RESPA. As long as I get the client to sign off saying they understand that I'm going to make money as their mortgage broker and the real estate broker, and they're okay with it, that's fine. You got Tucker. You guys heard of Tucker? Tucker Title, Tucker Mortgage, Tucker Real Estate. They've got all three companies as well. All right? I own a mortgage company too. So as long as we disclose it and the client says, okay, it's okay. Now, home inspectors have an issue with it. They don't want you to home inspect and be their agent. That's a home inspector thing. That's not a real estate thing.
Do you think that it would be worthwhile to have an inspector's license and be a broker so that you can better serve your clients as a broker?
All right, I'm going to repeat that just for the people at home. Do I think it's better to have both licensed so you can serve your client? I don't think so. Getting the license is so involved because, like I said, there's a lot of hands-on component that a home inspector will do that I, as a real estate broker, don't do because I trust a home inspector to do his job. For example, I'm not crawling in the crawl space as a real estate broker, but a home inspector will. Yeah, too many spiders. I don't do spiders. I can do rats, I can do snakes, don't do spiders. As far as I'm concerned, all spiders are that big and got fangs and want to fight. You know, I ain't doing it. Yeah. Remember that movie, Arachnophobia? My son wanted to watch it one day, and I'm like, okay. So we sat down, and within the first 10 minutes, that spider jumps in it. I'm like, screw it, I'm out of here. You're on your own. You will gain experience as a broker as you go through to learn and see some of the obvious things. All right? Hey, that roof's got a hole in it. All right? But we're not going to go in and do an involved home inspection. That's what their job is. So while I'm only a licensed home inspector because I teach the course. I have never done a home inspection in my life, not as a home inspector, because I've got other guys that'll do that, and I ain't doing spiders. All right? So we had a house that got foreclosed up in Noblesville that was a former mortuary. And they had the old cellar door on the floor in the kitchen. And I opened it up and I looked down and it was a dirt floor. Shut it back, said, nope, home inspector. I ain't going down there. I don't even want to know what I could find. So I ain't doing that. Home inspectors are not code enforcers. That seems to be a new problem here lately. They are not code enforcers. We had a home inspection just recently where the guy came back and said, well, this wasn't the code. Dude, you're not a code enforcer. All right? You're not supposed to be doing that. They check the systems of the house through the property structure, systems, and site conditions and prepare a report. That is valuable to both the buyers and sellers. They're not a code enforcer. So that's one thing to remember. Also, don't forget, when you get involved with a home inspector, there are many other inspections that may be done. You need to make sure your home inspector can do those. We got lead-based paint, you've got radon, you've got termite inspection, you've got other environmental. So when you hook up with your favorite home inspector, and you'll get 2 or 3, you might want to check with him, hey, are you termite approved? Are you radon approved? Are you lead-based paint? Because if your client wants all of those and your home inspector can't do it, now you're into this boat of, well, I got one that inspected the home and one that did the termite and one that did. You want to try and find one that can do all of them, all right? Most of them are getting that way now, okay? So that they can do termite inspection and stuff of that nature.